The complete works of Swami Vivekananda, Mission of the Vedanta, an address by Swamiji to the residents of Kumkodam in 1897, Part 2. In other countries, religion is only one of the many necessities in life. To use a common illustration which I am in habit of using, my lady has many things in her parlor, and it is a fashion nowadays to have a Japanese vase, and she must procure it. It does not look well to be without it. So my lady or my gentleman has many other occupations in life, and also a little bit of religion must come in to complete it. Consequently, he or she has a little religion. Politics, social improvement in one word, this world is the goal of mankind in the West. And God and religion come in quietly as helpers to attain that goal. Their God is, so to speak, the being who helps to cleanse and to furnish this world for them. That is apparently all the value of God for them. Do you not know how for the last 100 or 200 years you have been hearing again and again out of the lips of men who ought to have known better, from the mouths of those who pretend at least to know better, that all the arguments they produce against the Indian religion is this, that our religion does not conduce to the well-being in this world, that it does not bring gold to us, that it does not make us robbers of nations, that it does not make us the strong stand upon the bodies of the weak and feed themselves with the lifeblood of the weak. Certainly our religion does not do that. It cannot send cohorts under whose feet the earth trembles for the purpose of destruction and pillage and the ruination of races. Therefore they say, what is there in this religion? It does not bring any grist to the grinding mill, any strength to the muscles. What is there in such a religion? They little dream that this is the very argument with which we prove out religion, because it does not make for this world. Ours is the only true religion, because according to it, this little sense world of 3 days duration is not to be the end and aim of all, is not to be our great goal. This little earthy horizon of a few feet is not that which bounds the view of our religion. Ours is a way beyond and still beyond the senses, beyond space and beyond time, away beyond, till nothing of this world is left, and the universe itself becomes like a drop in the transcendental ocean of the glory of the soul. Ours is the true religion, because it teaches that God alone is true, that this world is false and fleeting, that all your gold is but as dust, that all your power is finite, and that life itself is one times an evil. Therefore, it is that ours is the true religion. Ours is a true religion because above all it teaches renunciation and stands up with the wisdom of ages to tell and to declare to the nations who are mere children of yesterday in comparison with us Hindus, who own the hoary antiquity of the wisdom discovered by our ancestors here in India, to tell them in plain words, children, you are the slaves of the senses. There is only finiteness in the senses. There is only ruination in the senses. The 3 short days of luxury here bring only ruin at last. Give it all up. Renounce the love of the senses and of the world. That is the way of religion. Through renunciation is the way to the goal, not through enjoyment. Therefore, ours is the only true religion.